Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Breeze. As usual, I am your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by my co-host, Big Fudge himself, Ben Rayner. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm doing great now that I know we're going to sit down and talk to our next guest. This is her first time on the show. Her name is Sara DiGiovacchino.
That was pretty close, yeah. That was pretty good. Better than most people.
Well, I as someone with a French name that people mispronounces,
yeah,
I do my best.
yeah.
So, Sara, what do you do in this online YouTube space?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I am a host of a Bachelor recap show with Jay Wade, who I believe has also been around the sphere, been around here. I'm also like co-hosting the Bad Batch show.
Oh, you're on that as well.
Yes, I am. I know very little Star Wars, thanks to my husband. Well, I knew some, but he's taught me more. So somehow I'm qualified to be on that show, even though I've never watched the Clone Wars, but it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And I also kind of host the Marvel recap shows as well that we do on Merc with a Movie blog as well. So kind of been all over the place.
Very, very nice. Now, what brings us to today's topic is originally Sara was supposed to be on our recap for How I Met Your Mother, but I had promised her we will definitely come back and talk to it about it. And well, tonight is the night. As I've glowingly said throughout everything, it is my favorite TV show of all time.
Mine too.
So when did you watch it when it first started airing on TV, or was it something that you came across later?
So funny enough, the first time I watched it, my first really sit down watch it was the finale. My friend was like, "Oh, it's the finale. We have to watch it." And I was like, "I've never seen this show. I've seen a couple episodes on the air, but I was like, I have no idea what's happening." So I watched the finale that everyone hates. And even really okay. Oh, that's interesting. I don't hate it that much either. Oh, great, perfect. But I knew watching it, there was some things I was kind of okay, I could see why people don't like this, but I didn't think it was that bad. So then I decided to go back and watch the whole show right after that, because I guess it sold me enough to watch the show.
And what was it that got you hooked on it?
The characters. I think the characters, and I really I like the format of the show. I like how it jumps all over the place. I like the narrator. I like the inside joke. I think the inside jokes also is kind of what kept me. It was just that it will come back to joke the longer you watch it. I keep telling people, a lot of my friends were like, "I don't like the show. I don't think it's that funny." And I'm like, you have to watch it from start to end. That is just better that way, because you pick up on little jokes.
Yeah, the inside jokes definitely are a major part of its success.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, on purpose.
Wow. That was great.
I have my moments. Out of all the characters, then, who's the one that you gravitated towards the most?
The one that I feel the one I gravitate towards and that I feel I'm a lot alike is Lily. Just because she's a kindergarten teacher and I have a degree in preschool education, and she is married, and I'm also married. When I watched it, I wasn't married, but now I feel I can relate to her a lot more. But the character that I love through my constant rewatches, never gets on my nerves, was Marshall. So he's has never gotten on my nerves. All the other characters, towards the end of the seasons, I just get mad and annoyed with. But Marshall, I just love forever. I'm never tired of him.
Yeah, he's very much the most consistent character in the show.
Yes. Yeah,
very
I
much
definitely agree with that.
Because Ted, you know, he'll go from the hopeless romantic good guy to being an unbelievably idiotic cad at some points. Barney is not a likable character. Marshall has always been... He knows who he is, and he's never going to stray from it.
Yeah, I've come around on Barney. When I first watched it, I was a senior in high school, and now I'm 25 and married. So I'm a little bit older. My views on things have definitely changed, especially as far as relationships. So I relate to Marshall and Lily's marriage and stuff different than I did when I was single and 18. And Barney I did not like. And also, I guess, because I knew what was going to happen at the end, since I started with the very end and knew him and Robin were going to end up together. So I hated that relationship. I didn't like him. And I just did a recent rewatch around Thanksgiving, and I really like Barney. I don't know what happened. Like, I completely flipped. Their relationships, him and Robin, still kind of bother me. It's better than it was, in my opinion, when I first watched it. But I don't know. He's not as annoying as I thought. I think he grew on me. That's what I'll say.
For sure. I've loved him from the very beginning, but it was on this most recent rewatch that I did where I was actually kind of looking at it with a slightly critical eye, where I realized this dude probably has the most character growth of all the characters.
Oh, yeah. I definitely noticed that too. Like, completely. They definitely give him the most to work with, especially bringing in like the dad aspect, the absent father aspect, and really kind of diving into like, oh, why does Barney sleep with so many women? And I think they kind of push aside, like, Marshall definitely gets kind of sidelined, and I mean that's why oh my god, Jason Segel wanted to leave, wanted to be written off, because I think they start with him pretty early on, give him a lot to do, and then towards the end it's like he's funny. He just says stupid stuff and is great. I don't know.
Yeah, and basically he's the one that was the most fully formed from the beginning.
Yeah.
For the most part.
They don't do anything, Tom. If you have two people hook up and get married and have a kid on that show, and then you move them out of the main area of gathering, what else do you have them do in a group of friends? I mean, you can say the same thing about Chandler and Monica in Friends.
Yeah. Friends.
That's the show we're doing right now, and I'm actually on my second rewatch already.
Really? I've only watched it once.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but while I did this rewatch, I got so enveloped in it that I decided to start it right again right away.
Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Only other show I've ever done that with Parks and Rec, and I almost did it with How I Met Your Mother this time as well.
I love Parks and Rec. That's my other favorite.
Yeah, my best friend introduced that one to me, and I've never looked back. Good old Ron Swanson.
Oh, I love it. It's so good. Yeah. That's not this show, but
no, for sure. So back to How I Met Your Mother. What when it comes to the show, like, what are some of your favorite episodes?
Oh man. Okay, my favorite. Yeah, you really did. I've been trying to think about this because I knew this was going to come up, and I just didn't do my research. I know my favorite is the pineapple accident. I think it's incident from season 1. I just love the episode from when I watched it. I love the storytelling. I really like Ted. I think a lot of people give Ted a lot of crap. Especially now, I think that's like the cool thing to kind of hate on him. But he gets on my nerves, but I think he is a really well-written character because he isn't perfect and he does mess up. And but I really like that episode a lot. I like the slap bat episode, all the ones that I think people really like. Love the slap bat episode. I love the basically all season 1. It's called Return of the Shirt. It's episode 4. The one when Natalie comes back and they have the fight. I was just watching that scene. I love that scene so much. Again, did not like the episode when I first watched it. On my multiple rewatches, I love that episode. And my other favorite is, I forget what season it's from, but it's the one when Ted's mom gets remarried to Clint and he buys the house. I love it. I think that episode is so funny. When they're all singing the song at the wedding, and
what season? Yeah,
I think
it's 5.
I was gonna say I think it's season 5.
Yeah, because there it is staring right in front of the page. Ted buys a house.
Yeah, Ted buys a house. I think that one's great.
Yeah, when it comes to the show, I've found that I've always been more connected to the emotional moments that happen in the show. That's why we did our list. I think all 5 of mine were ones that were all tearjerkers.
Oh,
like my favorite one is How Your Mother Met Me.
Oh yeah, that's also up there.
Yeah,
That's one of the best episodes.
Also on the list was, I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's the one where the Marshall's dad's funeral.
Last word.
Yeah.
Last word, yes.
He's on it. That's a good
Symphony,
episode too.
Symphony of Illumination, the one where Robin finds out she can't have a kid.
That's a good. Oh my gosh, that is a really good one. That one's really sad.
Yeah,
it is all the sad ones.
That's more the type that I gravitate towards too. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just a soul softie. Yeah, exactly. Oh God, what was I about to say? So what are some of? Okay, so we've talked about everything you love. Now, what are some of the things you didn't like about the show?
Oh man. Well, on my most recent rewatch, I realized as a whole, I really do not like season 4. I used to think season 4 was really good. It's the one that they kind of like Lily and Robin are both like pregnant in real life. The actresses are pregnant in real life, so they're like hiding behind like the furniture and all this stuff the whole time, which I have an issue with. But that's one when Lily leaves for like 4 episodes. And I think a lot of the episodes are just kind of like silly and don't really add to the over plot and stuff, which is fine. But I don't think the writing is as strong as like the other seasons. But I used to love those episodes, so I don't know what happened. I'm not a big fan of Robin.
Really?
Yeah, she's one that consistently just bothers me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of her and Ted's relationship. I know a lot of people really like. I mean, I kind of like their relationship, but I am a big fan of obviously like Ted and Tracy, and that's a whole other thing. I don't know how they pulled that off. Like, that's a big gamble, and I just think the actress is absolutely perfect, and they nailed it. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Robin. I don't know if it's controversial. I don't like Stella at all.
I'm not a fan of her as well.
Okay, because I see a lot of lists of people are like, Stella is the best girlfriend Ted was with, and I'm like, no, their relationship is terrible. It's a really bad, toxic relationship. I don't like her. I don't know if there's much.
So going back to season 4 for a second, that's the one, Ben, that you had said is the most important season of the series.
Oh my gosh!
No.
Okay.
I think season 3 is the most important one.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, sorry, I mistook the season. It's a little too much wheat sometimes.
Season 3 is the one with the tattoo. So that is the most important one.
Yeah, I think, season 3 is definitely, I agree with that. I think it's one of the strongest ones. I mean, I think the first 3 seasons are their best and strongest, obviously. I also think season 5 is pretty good, too. And I think they, again, first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, the seasons just get worse and worse. But on the most recent one, I was like, okay, like these seasons are actually really good. Like season 5 is pretty funny. It's pretty, the comedy kind of comes back, and I like what they add.
I was always a big fan of the Zoe storyline in that season.
Oh, I don't like Zoe. Maybe
See,
I do not like Zoe at all. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you're supposed to like Zoe though.
I don't think so. Like Jennifer Morrison was so good at playing the cow.
Yeah. I love her husband. I love the captain. I love all that. It's so funny. I just don't like her at all. I mean, I still don't like Stella. And I think you're supposed to like Stella, so I think that's the problem.
Yeah, but it's part of that, like not just the toxic relationship stuff that you said earlier, but also that she left him at the altar, which is a pretty bad thing to do.
Which is pretty tough. I also just don't like the actress, I think.
Okay.
Sara Chalk, it is Chalk, who is on the voice of in Rick and Morty, which I love, so it's just kind of contradict myself there. But I don't know. I really just don't like that character. There's a lot of stuff. Maybe it's the whole Star Wars thing where she's like, I hated that movie, and I don't know. I just don't like Stella. At all.
Okay, besides Tracy, who is Ted's best girlfriend though?
Victoria.
Yeah, I'd agree the first time with Victoria.
Yes, the first time, not the second time.
Yeah, Second time was good, but it was the whole Robin or me thing where I'm like,
And I have to back my talk because I don't like Victoria.
I understand.
Victoria.
yeah. But
Do you like Stella?
The first go around though was with Victoria
Was perfect.
Yeah. I didn't like how. I don't like what Ted did to her, but whatever.
Yeah, that is also one of my favorite episodes as well. I like all the episodes. The Nothing Good Happens After 2 a.m.
Yeah. Except for you, Luke. You're the exception.
Yes, great. But yeah, I love Victoria. I think what bothers me about the second go around with Victoria is that obviously we know that Victoria's not the mom, so they kind of had to give her something to make them break up, which I just think I thought it was really dumb.
It wasn't handled very well, but funny enough, it was supposed to be the mother if the show got canceled.
Yes.
Season. I don't know.
Which I love that. I'm like, that's I can see. I like those 12 episodes, 13 episodes where it kind of ends. Like if that show would have ended there, like would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we got so much more.
If it ended there, I knew when we didn't have content to update what it gags on our show.
It's true. We wouldn't have gotten Slap Bet, and we wouldn't have gotten the Robin Sparkle stuff.
Right.
That's true.
Which, as a Canadian, I can say a lot of those stereotypes, complete bullshit.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel offended when, like, Barney or whenever they're just, like, going hard against Canada?
Well, no, but some of the things he's got a point on, like, our money does look like Monopoly money, I'm not going to lie. The Tim Hortons thing is accurate, but we did get the 1980s in the 1980s, so there's always that.
Okay. He's like, that's...
And yes, the Grey Cup is a real thing.
Oh.
It's actually, it's the Canadian Football League version of the Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about
Canada. Canadian football is boring. It's a different
Canadian Thanksgiving?
It's in October.
Oh.
I like the one episode where she has him dress up like a Mountie for Halloween, and he's like looking in the mirror. He's like, "Oh, Canada," and he shows up doing the rappy thing instead. Yeah, I always thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, hands down, Neil Patrick Harris out of the whole show, I think, was probably the best actor out of all of them because of all the stuff Barney did.
Yes, I think Ted, Josh Rayner, as I say his last name. I don't know. I think there's some stuff towards the end of the series that I
probably should repreface that. I think
throughout consistently. You mean? Yeah,
exactly. Like Neil Patrick Harris had the better range because he was so good at playing the like emotional stuff, as we saw in the scene.
Yeah,
where he's taking the basketball board down with his dad
every time.
Right? Every boy needs a basketball hoop. It's like how you not help but cry. But then you get the utterly ridiculous stuff with Barney, like the Van Matterhorn there, the Colonel Van Matterhorn or whatever. Yeah, the playbook. Like he just plays it so
true.
well.
Also putting Alison Hannigan into that mix. I think she's one of the better actors on that too.
And Ben and I have talked about this. Out of all the actors, she has the best chemistry with everybody.
Yeah.
Like her scene.
Wow.
Towards the end with Ted, right? If you think about it, because Lily's
so
the one
true.
that Barney always goes to. He's the only one
she like flirts with everyone.
And the scene on the rooftop with Ted and Lily towards the end
also breaks my heart.
Right? Yeah, the one where she says, "Sometimes I wish I don't want to be a mom." It's just like, whoa.
I don't want to be a mom.
Yeah, and none of them
true.
Big performances, but yeah, she definitely has the most.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out to me. Now there's a lot of breadth of guest stars as well. Is there any that happen to stick out to you more than others?
The one that just popped into mind is the Katy Perry one when she plays Honey.
Oh, Honey.
And they're like, "Oh, Honey." Yeah. I think that gag's really funny. Oh my gosh, that one, Britney Spears. I think they gave her a lot to do. She came back 2 times. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh. Who else? Tim Gunn shows up at one point. That one's pretty funny. I don't know.
I like Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
Duh. Yeah,
Robin Thicke's dad.
Yeah. Oh, his stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, what's...
I was gonna say one of my favorites that nobody really ever calls attention to because it's like a blink if you miss it, but 80s pop star Tiffany in Sandcastles in the Sand.
Yes. Yeah. Also, that's the episode that what's his name? James Vanderbeek is also in, which is also. I feel like I'm just like every episode is a great episode, but really, like I don't think I really have an issue with that many of them. Especially watching them over and over again, you just kind of learn to appreciate every episode.
There's a point in the first season that I know if I make it past that, I'm A-okay, and that is bringing it back to Victoria. It's the scene. It's the episode where Victoria and Ted first meet when Robin's supposed to go meet them at
the drum roll one.
And and then she sees them and she's in the bathroom crying.
That's a good episode too.
For some reason, that if I make it by that, I have no problem with the rest.
Really, but before then.
Before that, I'm very leery about always like the great episodes.
Really,
it's that particular episode, that particular plot that just.
It hooks
I don't know. I guess because I love these characters so much, I hate when I see them hurt, and to see Robin hurt, it kind of upsets me.
I cry in that episode at the end of that episode too when they're dancing to the Michael Bublé song, and she's like, "Close your eyes." Every time I like tear up. I can't listen to that song without like crying.
It's because You Don't Know Me. Yes, is a great, beautiful song. For me, it's at the end of the episode where he shows up at the. That one too. Gosh.
Another funny one is Swami.
Oh God!
I love that. I'm gonna say that for every single. I love that one too. That is a good episode.
Yeah,
little play on Friends.
You gotta come get me. There's what is it? Hunchback male with a limp.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, there are a lot of some good people that show up. I have kind of I don't know if it's controversial, but I recently just kind of saw on the internet that a lot of people don't like Kevin and Robin's relationship.
Really?
I don't know. I was looking for something, and then I'm not on Reddit, but I saw it was like a whole Reddit thread that was like, I don't understand Kevin. I don't get why people love him and Robin together. And I was like, what? I love them. Like, I want her to end up with Kevin. Like, I wish that's how the show ended. Like, I love their relationship.
They were really great together, but it's probably one of the more screwed up relationships, like how they got together.
Terrible.
Because that is unethical. He technically could have, I guess, lost his license for that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think he said he quit. Or he stopped being
he dropped her as a client still.
Yeah, but still, it's still... I don't think you can still date your past client.
No.
I wouldn't say it's icky. I think that's the right word for it.
Yeah, it's a little... I think he was the best out of all of Robin's, like, boyfriends, including Barney. I definitely think that he was the best for her. Especially, there's that one scene that... It's the like I think it's called like Tick 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 or whatever. The one where they're on the boat and he cheats on Nora and they cheat on each other, and she like says the same exact thing to them and says like, "I'm so messed up. Why do you like me or why do you love me?" And I know everyone like loves Barney's response because he's just like, "Oh, because you're not as messed up as I am" or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a great response, but like Kevin's is like, I forget what he says, but he's just like, I love you, and like we can work past this, and it doesn't matter what you.
She had revealed to him after he proposed that she can't have kids.
Yeah, it's just like all like just the way he's like so supportive, and it's again the same thing with Victoria, where they had to have Robin and Kevin break up, but their like breakup still bothers me. Just that she like basically convinces him, like, look, you're never gonna have kids, like just break up with me, which is I get it, it's understandable, but I was just like, come on, like why can't. What are you doing? Why can't they just be happy? Like, together.
Well, this is a show about 5 people in New York. I don't think happiness is always in the cards.
Yeah, obviously it's not. But yeah, just
So what are some other? Let's just keep with the TV still thing because I have a feeling we might end up running out of How I Met Your Mother things. What are some other shows?
Never.
What are some other shows that
Oh man,
in a similar way to How I Met Your Mother's ones that connect with you like that?
I mean, we talked about it on Parks and Rec. That is like my number 2 show. I don't know. I feel like now it's not as like controversial, but I definitely like Parks and Rec more than The Office. I just think it's better. Don't hate me. I think they got the style down a little bit better than when they were doing The Office. I think the characters are just a little bit more well fleshed out, written. I'm not sure. I relate to those characters a lot more than I do with some of the characters on The Office, except for Creed, who is my favorite character.
Creed is the best.
I love Creed so much. All the like goofy ones I like love, and maybe that's why I like Parks and Rec because they're all just ridiculous, so much. That one really grabbed me. Recently. I would say also same creator, like The Good Place, definitely really.
That's one I'm behind on.
Oh,
yeah, man.
It's so good. It's so good. I think it's honestly like one of the best shows in a very like from start to finish, like just perfect. I think the end is absolutely perfect, and that show definitely. I don't know. New Girl. Only first couple seasons. You see a theme. Like I like all these.
Yeah.
Something a little more serious. Sherlock, definitely.
Yeah.
Very emotionally tied.
Very much
to
so.
that.
I still haven't seen the 4th season though. The last season. I don't know what happened. It is one of my old when I lived down south of Vancouver. One of my close friends spoiled season 3 for me, and I was like, "The hell with it! I'm not gonna watch it." I just never went back and watched it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think now we've walked. Like, there's been some years from season 4. I think now we're kind of like, I don't know if that was great or good or not. I don't like how the show ended or what. I don't know. They keep saying it's not over, but who knows? But yeah, definitely watch it. I made my husband watch it. I was like, watch this show, and then
It's an incredibly brilliant show. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. Because I don't know, every time I've started season 3, I'm like,
yeah, season 3, yeah. Watch season 1 and 2. I like to pick what seasons I'll watch of TV shows sometimes. Like New Girl, I only go back and watch the first 2 seasons because after a while, I get kind of annoyed. And Parks and Rec, I only watch. I love the show, but I don't watch the later seasons. I just haven't gone back to watch them. Yeah, again, I think I watched it again when I was a senior in high school. Yeah. So I think now that like I'm older, maybe it's time for my rewatch to kind of see different things. But I like the first like 2 or 3, not the first season.
The other way around. If I could
really
do the season, I would be perfectly content with that.
Oh.
Because for me, the show doesn't become the show until Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show up at the end of the second season.
Yeah.
Everything after that is just gravy. It's all good. The stuff before that, not so much.
I like all this stuff. I like Mark Brendanowitz. I know a lot of people don't. Maybe that's
be one of the rare ones.
I know. I don't understand. Like maybe I need to go back and watch it and see if he says like really terrible stuff, and I shouldn't say that.
He doesn't. It's just he's not compared to the other ones. This character just doesn't pop out.
I think that's what it is. I think they're trying to make him like the straight man kind of, and it was kind of too boring. And now you have Adam Scott, who is the straight man, but also kind of quirky. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why. But yeah, I think I'm the only person in the world.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they like Mark Brendanowitz.
I really like him and Anne. I really like their relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, just the odd one out. I'm blanking.
That's the first show that I ever did back to back. The first time I watched it, I immediately hit play on season 1 as soon as I'd done. Because my friend had been after me. My best friend had been after me for a long, long time to watch it. And then I got to the hunting trip episode. I'm like, I'm in.
Oh, great. It's a great episode. And then my most like recent one, I'm not done, but I've been watching Schitt's Creek because
yes, Canada represent.
everyone's like, you need to watch Schitt's Creek, and I was like, yeah. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, I cannot get into this. Like, I hate the accent. I hate these people, and now I'm like, everyone needs to watch this show. Like, it's so good. I don't know how. I was just talking to my mom about this. I was like, I don't know how they did this, where you literally see these characters like change in the most natural way, and just like little things that you kind of pick up on, that they like make certain decisions that you're surprised that they would make these decisions and not be terrible people. Like, it's just so well done, and it's so funny.
Well, yeah. Like Eugene and Dan Levy created it, and Eugene Levy is one of the greatest comedic minds of all time.
It's genius. It's so good.
Yeah, and like him and Catherine O'Hara, like they're like Canada up here, SCTV shit we grew up on, and they've had chemistry going back longer than I was born.
Is Catherine O'Hara, is she Canadian?
Yes, she is. Born in Toronto.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, generally, like I think everybody that was on SCTV was all Canadian. I think.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, SC stands for Second City, which I believe is originally an American thing.
Wow.
Yeah, the Second City, where a lot of famous comedians and what have you came out of.
But yeah, I need to finish it, but I do like that show. Now I haven't really been watching. I just get into my time to put How I Met Your Mother on, or time to put on My Comfort, or let's watch The Bachelor because I don't want to think about things. Like, that's just where I'm at. Let's
go to that for a second, because as you said, you do the show. Well, no, not just The Bachelor, but I'm just talking reality TV in general.
Okay.
You do the Bachelor podcast with friend of the show, Jay Wade. I've never been able to get into reality TV. Like, I mean, I liked Comic Book Men because I love those guys. But for the most part, I've never really got into Bachelor, never really got into Survivor, any of those things.
Yeah.
My brother a little bit, because on the Canadian version, somebody from my town here actually was on it. But
really?
Yeah, finished 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, not been for me. Now, what is it for you about reality TV that keeps you turning in every week?
I love the trashy. Well, not super trashy, but I really don't know. It's just easy to watch. You just kind of put it on, like, you don't have to really pay attention too much, and just put it on in the background. There was times where, like, when I was just at home, I would just clean my house and just put The Bachelor on and go through like 5 episodes, just like not paying attention, but kind of paying attention. Like, it's just easy. You kind of get wrapped up, especially in like the characters and like, how are these people real, or like, these can't be real people. Yeah, it's just. So
The Bachelor, that's the one that's your favorite, I guess?
Yeah, I would say The Bachelor. I started rewatching America's Next Top Model, which is just all trash. Do not watch it.
All my friends have been on my case to watch that.
Don't do it. Hulu has, like, I don't know if it's like the live TV because that's what we have, but Hulu right now has all of the seasons, and it started in 2001, so it's very interesting to go back and see like how different the world was and the way that people say things that are not appropriate at all anymore. And it's also like there's been a huge blow up the past couple years, especially I think recently again, of like people really calling out the show and really calling out Tyra Banks and just kind of being like,
oh, Bachelor?
Oh yeah, like all over like TikTok and the internet and stuff like that. People are like, there's a lot of photo shoots that they did that just are not okay, or the way they talk to people, or especially like beauty standards. Plus size models were skinnier, like just like size 2s, and they were like, oh, they're plus size. Like just a lot of things are like, no, that's not okay. Like this is not a great. They had a photo shoot where girls changed their ethnicity, and they like literally painted them like their skins different colors. Like one girl was my shade, and they made her like African American, and not great. This was like 2005. We should have known.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you should know. Like, just things like that. Apparently, they do that a lot on the show. Just like little things that now people are like, this is not okay. Like,
No.
we shouldn't have done this.
For sure. I do want to make a correction, though. It was not American Top's Model that all my friends were afterwards. I don't know why they confused that with RuPaul's Drag Race. That's
yes. I have not watched Drag Race. I can't say that word. I should. I really should watch it.
It's always funny when you're hanging with your friends and they're like, 8-year-old child starts quoting the show and you're like, what?
You're like, oh my goodness. But definitely The Bachelor is what I will just watch the most.
So is it just mostly the characters and the dynamics that are on that show? Like,
it's just the show is.
Well?
Yes. Oh yeah, I watch all of Bachelor Nation shows. I feel like super nerdy talking about this like reality show. The Bachelor's insanity. It's been on for about, the Bachelor version has been on for 20 years. The Bachelorette, I think, has been like 12, 13. I think we've had like 16 seasons. Oh, 16, I guess. It's crazy. It's only gotten worse in the past couple years as far as like The Bachelor's a hot mess of a show because now they have, not now, but the producers are very relevant and you know that, so they like set up a bunch of stuff and you're like, okay, that's just so produced. And now it's
not reality at all. Well, granted,
none of it's real. You know, it's me and Jay argue all the time where he's like, oh, this is terrible. Why would this girl go and interrupt this other girl, or why would this girl say that? And I'm like, because it's all produced, because it's not real. Like, that's what's fun. Like,
the next time you do get in a debate about this, just use this one line on them. As soon as the TV camera's turned on, all reality stops.
Yes. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, it's not real. Like, these people are crazy, and that one's fun. The Bachelorette's a little bit better because it's like the girls are in charge. The one girl's in charge, so it's not like a bunch of catty girls, but it's still entertaining. And the one that Jay likes to watch is Bachelor in Paradise, where they take everyone that got like kicked off in the past, and they all go to Mexico for like 2 months and just like hook up with each other. It's so fun. It's so great. They're all drunk.
To be pretty.
It's like. It is the most, especially now we're in quarantine, but they're all still like meeting up with each other in New York and before the show. So people are like, what is happening? Like, yeah, it's trash, but it's fun.
Yeah, the reason why I've come to realize this, the reason why I've always loved comic book men when I gravitate toward them is because I've actually been following those guys since before the podcast, because before the show, because they have their own podcast. And so watching that show, I'm like, okay, so it's really just these 4 guys turned down to 6, because if you actually listen to them in real life, this is how they talk to each other, but it gets way worse. So I mean, I knew going in like, okay, like a lot of the scenarios are set up, but I know this is really how they talk to each other. So I guess that's why I felt okay with that, because I'm like, at least there's some semblance of reality here.
Yeah.
What about you, Ben? You ever been into the reality TV game?
Okay, funny you should ask. I used to work in a reality television company.
Fuck off. Which one?
You're in production. I did research there for 15 years, and
let me guess.
Was it The Bachelor? No.
No, I love the job. I have great memories from there. COVID happened, whatever, but the stuff I used to watch was Celebrity Apprentice, because I loved watching all these actors parents, C-level C-level celebrities. One of the Mormon brothers.
I remember watching that and going, how far these people have fallen.
Very juicy.
Oh my god.
It was so great. And to be honest, in its heyday, when it was in its prime, like seasons 5 to 9 maybe, I was an American Idol fan.
Oh yeah.
But only when the original judges and crew. Once they all started leaving them, and I'm kind of, no good. Not for me.
I was American Idol as well.
It's really funny that I never got into that because I have an extensive background in music and theater and stuff. So I'm surprised that one I never got into.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, those are like the only ones I watch.
But back up a little bit. What type of research would you do for a reality TV show? Like, I'm actually legit curious about that.
Well, like, and then you didn't, and then you didn't, like, I didn't look up, okay, and then you did a funny video clip to your show.
Oh,
okay.
Like YouTube or like funny baby clips, funny stuff like that.
Did any of that stuff that you picked make it to the show?
A few things. I also looked at some really bad casting tapes. I couldn't tell you more about it off air.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised.
I
Yeah, nobody big, man. Yeah.
I definitely can't wait to hear that. Now, what was the worst show you worked on?
I can't say. And they're all good.
No. Okay, I should probably rephrase that. Like you said, you worked on Celebrity Apprentice. Are there any shows?
No. I didn't work on that. I just watched.
That was his. Yeah, he watched.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm totally okay. I thought you worked for the company that did this.
No. You wouldn't know any of the ones I worked for.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, fair point. I guess everybody wants to be a reality TV person at some point.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's the beauty about living in a small town surrounded by mountains. You don't get a lot of that up here.
No, you don't.
We just get the extreme sports people.
That's
true. Because where I live, I'm like 45 minutes away from a very popular Canadian ski town, and then like we were just like surrounded by mountains, so it's all these bike trails. And I'm like one of the rarities in town where I'm not really an outdoor person.
Me neither. Wow.
So, God damn it! Don't you just love it when your mind blanks?
Every day, all the time.
So, have you ever had to rope your husband into watching any of these with you?
Oh yes, definitely How I Met Your Mother, which is really disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, I didn't have to rope him into it, but when we first started dating, I was like, "This is my favorite show," so you kind of have to watch it. And we watched the first like couple seasons together, and then we just got busy watching other stuff. But like we watched episodes of Parks and Rec, How I Met Your Mother. He watched all Sherlock, but he was like really into it. So I was like, that's good. Hasn't watched New Girl, but that's not really.
What about the reality TV show stuff? Is he all?
Okay, so he will watch The Bachelor. I have gotten him to watch The Bachelor. I think he likes it. He'll ask me, like, I'll watch it on my phone when he's playing video games, like in my headphones, and he'll be like, I want to watch, like, I want to listen. And I'm like, okay, because he just likes how stupid everyone is. It's entertaining. But he's not big reality TV person. Yeah.
There is one good thing about reality TV. It makes me feel better about myself as a person.
Yes. Yes, that is understood. He has roped me into watching more shows than I have roped him. Yes. He had me sit down and watch all of Supernatural.
Ooh,
it took
us
a year and a half to watch all of it. We like finished right as season 15 ended.
Okay.
So, and he didn't watch season 15, so we were able to watch that season together, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And watch the end together. So we did that. That's a show.
It's filmed in Vancouver a lot of time near where I live, so I could watch the show and point out a lot of different. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that show. We're in the middle of watching Lost right now. You kind of
That's
drag.
for
I
them.
have
That's
never
my
seen it.
second favorite TV show. of
Really?
all time.
I've never seen it.
Me neither.
It aired when I was like young, really like younger. So I like I remember like catching little things, but everyone was like, "Don't watch it. Don't watch Lost." And I was like, "Okay." So now we're watching it, and I really like it. So
What
I feel even.
season are you on?
We're in the middle of season 3 right now. We've kind of taken a break. We've been watching like other things, but we were watching like 3 episodes like a night. Like,
Nice.
just
That
like
just dropped on Disney Plus for us, I think, like 3 weeks ago.
oh
What
really?
is it, Matt? What is it?
It's good. It's good.
I do have a lot of time right now.
The first seasons are really good. It is. I mean, it's. I don't know. It's a little weird, but I like it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm down to give it a shot. I was when we were teenagers. I guess it was when that aired for us, Ben.
But like
it came out in 04.
Yeah.
We graduated high school.
Yeah.
So that completely missed me that one.
Yeah. Been watching that.
This is gonna be a fun one. I'm asking this to the both of you. If there was ever a reality show that you guys wanted to be a contestant on, what would it be?
The Bachelor, but that's not.
Oh, no, you're married. Come on.
It's not gonna happen. Ooh. There's so many. I really like. I guess it's I guess the cooking shows are reality shows.
Yeah,
I would really like to be on Halloween Wars. That's the one where they like make the pumpkins and the cakes to like make it into like. I can't do any of that, but that would be really. That'd be really fun. Yeah, I could make some cakes or something.
I've never really thought about what I would have. I guess it's gonna go back to comic book men because those people, they think like I do. It's a pop culture show, so I'd go with that one. What about you, Ben?
America's Funniest Home Videos.
I guess that would be a reality show.
Yeah.
Who here is guilty as a child of trying to stage funny stuff so we can get my recorded?
Not me.
Oh, totally.
Totally, of course.
Look, let's think about this. Isn't that Jackass more of this?
Yeah, Jackass is more of that, but intentional.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And here's the scary part: they're doing a 4th one.
I know.
Are they really?
They really are.
Yeah.
But it just feels weird without Ryan Dunn.
Yeah. That's I mean, I've never seen any of those.
If I'm ever like at this age now, I'm like, if you're not into that type of stuff, definitely don't watch it. Number 2, which is fun, always when it came out, one of the funniest things we've seen. I have a hard time watching it now because I know everybody was strung out while doing it. If people are like, I want to watch this, I'm like, okay, watch the 3rd one. Because outside of maybe 3 bits, they're all easily digestible. There's very few body.
That's good. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, like obviously there are some things like where they pee on each other and stuff like that, but there's nothing like when they shook a car up like the first one. Like there's nothing really like that.
Well, now you sold me.
And I saw that in 3D. So there's nothing like seeing a dildo flying across the screen in 3D. Right?
I didn't think of one more reality show that I'd like to watch. But the original with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh,
really?
Oh.
That's definitely a show I couldn't get into. I don't know if I don't know. I've never really been into that candid camera or shot stuff. But Mark Ellis appeared on an episode back in the day.
Did he really?
Yeah, he. If you look it up, you don't know much about the Schmodown or anything, do you, Sarah?
I know a little bit. I know some.
So the name Mark Ellis rings a bell then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so before the whole Schmoes stuff, when he was just trying to make it in Hollywood, he appeared as one of the shit disturbers on the show, and
really?
He pushed Michael Sheen, or Michael Sheen pushed him into a pool.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the corn commercial he's done?
Yes.
No, but I want to see the stoner comedy he did.
He did a corn commercial for what is it called? Carfax A Carfax?
Yeah. Show me the Carfax. That one with the little fox.
Oh, it's really? Huh.
Yeah, I know. I watched all them, the schmoes and.
Okay, I just did. I honestly didn't know. I was like,
no, you're fine.
Anything here?
Collider Live, all the schmoes know.
Okay.
I actually watched like the first season of the Schmodown. And then when they
went
did
back that far.
I was original. I don't watch anymore. But I was part of the original crew, I guess. I don't know.
You're an OG Schmoville member.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would have loved SEM today. They were talking a lot about the trial of JTE. And everybody was laughing at that.
I might have
I think not everybody knew about that on SEM. And they were laughing their ass off.
How far into the episode would you say it was?
I'll have to find it for you.
I really, really, really do want to watch it. But what? You just other things took over? You just kind of fell out of touch with it, sort of thing?
Yeah, I go through this phase like the last year or so where like I'll get really into something and then I'll just kind of stop, especially like podcasts and stuff like that. Like I'll just listen to a bunch of episodes and I'll just stop and like lose interest. And I think that's kind of what happened. Also, when it started to turn more into like all the factions, which there's nothing wrong with that. I understand what Christian Harloff is like doing, and I respect it. But for me, like I like the movie trivia aspect of it.
Gotcha.
So when it started to get like, you need to stay and watch this part, you need to watch these clips, and you gotta care about these characters and people. I was like, okay, I think I'm a little out. Like. I
100% get that, and I went back. I had to go back and watch a couple old matches last week because I filled in for Ben on Mount Schmodown, and I watched 2 of Sam Levine's matches from season 3, and my God, was the atmosphere and not just the game, but like everything about it was just differently. Like you watched it, and like they were taking it seriously, but they were there to have fun.
Yeah.
Now it's just because the factions and things matter and stuff. It's definitely changed.
It's whole different, yeah. I haven't really watched anything recently. Maybe like the last like 2 years. I don't think I've really watched a match or anything. I know Jay does his show, and I'm always like,
I've been on a few times on that one.
I'm like, I know that person. What I forget. Someone was on. I think it was Ace was on there, and I was like, I love him. I want to be on the show. And he was like, you don't watch. Like you can't. I need you to watch. And I was like, okay, sure.
Have you ever thought about going back, or the faction stuff just turned you away?
I have. I'm also a very type of person that like I can't just jump in. Like if I'm gonna watch, I need to like go back to the beginning, not all the way to the beginning, but when they first started the factions, like last year. Yeah, last year. I need to like go back so I can kind of understand. But there's so many matches, so like it's a huge. Yeah, so I'm just like. It's a big hill to climb up. I should just jump in and just start watching. I mean, I don't think I really need to know that much, but
yeah, basically there's several matches I would recommend watching, but for the most part, if you miss some of the faction stuff, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Digital age, so we're not getting like last year we didn't really get any cutscenes.
Oh.
This year, first year they really started they brought that into the digital age. So I mean, last year it's pretty much matches, promos, and standings. That's all it is.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go back and.
Yeah, there's definitely some banger matches from last year.
Yeah, because I missed the trivia aspect of it too. Because I would always like the fun part where you're like, I knew this question. Like, come on, like especially like the inner geekdom stuff. Love that. Anything there's Star Wars, I'll put it on so my husband can like listen to it. Except now I know it's like really, really hard questions, so I'd love to see.
I'm usually out by like the 4th question. I'm out. I'm done. Like
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, actually, what's funny is if you want to go back and watch a match, there was one that happened this year, the Star Wars title match between Alex Damon and Andrew DiMolanta, the first one. It's the highest scoring match in Schmodown history.
Really?
To 51. I'm not going to tell you who won.
Oh my gosh.
I highly recommend go watching that. It easily sit as the greatest match in Schmodown history to this point.
Okay, I'll have to watch. I'll make my husband watch it and be like, You have to get this many points, and then
Yeah. And luckily enough, Nerd Chronic, who now does the editing packages, he edits them in a way where if you've missed something, you just go watch the package and you get basically just
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's smart.
Very, very much so. But yeah, if I recommend highly you two sit down and watch that match because
okay, I'll have to do that.
It's I think the only match this year where I was on the edge of my seat, like and nail biting, like holy, like are we going to keep going?
Wow.
Yep, it was great.
That's okay. It's on my list.
Yeah, highly recommend that. Yeah, so we're definitely coming up on our hour mark, which is like 10:30 for you over on your end.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh yeah, fair point. But no, seriously, we usually just do about an hour. So, is there anywhere, Sarah, that the folks here can find you all over this wonderful space called the internet?
Wow. You can find me on Twitter at SCBock, so that's SSEABOCK. Like I said earlier, I'm the host of the Bachelor podcast. It's called Go Get That Rose. It's on the JCast network on YouTube. I believe that's called. We just moved there. And that will be starting up in June 7th. So you can find me over there with Jay. And we just talk trash about it. So you don't have to like watch the show or even care. We just talk trash about all the contestants. And we're doing like a fantasy league this season that we came up with all the point systems, and it's going to be interesting. You know, Jay, it's going to be very
yeah. Makes you.
I had to rein him in a little bit.
How do you fantasy for something like that?
It's going to be like the person, whoever gets the first kiss will get 10 points. Whoever goes home on the date or you lose, we're like adding and losing points. It's going to be a hot mess. I'm going to be completely honest. We really...
That sounds like fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Jay was like just throwing random stuff in there, and I'm like, okay, we can't...
He would.
We got to rein it in a little bit. Like,
he would. He totally would.
So was I, though, let's be honest. But yeah, that's fun.
Great. Big Fudge, what about you?
You can find me everywhere at @Ben_Radio, right here on the Media Serenity Network, on Thursday on Late, Shooting the Breeze, on Friday on Recapping the Past, on Saturday on the flagship show Gets Ready, also on Saturdays on Mount Schmodown, on Matt's channel. Last week we did Submarine. This week we're doing Pyramid Cleaning. Matt, how about you?
And you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me on all the shows over here, Shooting the Breeze, which we're doing now, Recapping the Past, and Get Sweaty. You can also find me over on my other channel, Schmoes of the North, where every week we break down the matches of the Schmodown. And we've also got other shows on there like Mount Schmodown, our new Star Wars show, Let's Talk About Star Wars, that I will be producing. It's definitely going to be an interesting ride on that one. Our first episode, because we went in blind, ended up being almost 3 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so after about an hour, I'm just like, fuck it. I just smoked a bowl and was like, screw it, come here, I'm just gonna have fun.
You're like, keep going.
Pretty much.
Let's keep it going.
It's gonna be a wild show that's coming back in a few weeks. There's also Canadian Comic Book Corner, which we've only put out one episode, but eventually we'll get the second one out. And of course, Daniel's show, the Best TV Show Podcast, which he named after his favorite TV show, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer show. That's the name of the Best TV Show Podcast. Best TV Show Podcast. So yeah, that's where you can all find me. So thank you very much for everybody who watched this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, to Schmoes of the North, and to the JCast Network, because there are a lot of great people over there and a lot of great shows. I've had the privilege of guesting on, speaking of Showdown, quite a few times, and it's always been a ride every time I've done. So on behalf of myself, Sarah, and Big Fudge, I will bid you all adieu, and we will see you next week on Shoot the Breeze. And don't forget, everyone, stay sweaty and smash